Okay, hello everybody. How are you today? Hello. Okay, Matthew, I want to welcome Matthew personally because it's his first YouTube live to be with us today, so that's great. Marilu, it's good to see you back, and Daniela as well, and Siva Kumar as well. First time for me to catch you on YouTube. So, okay, well, thank you. Welcome. And Julie. Oh, hello, Julie. How are you today? Great. So it's great that that all of you are here. I'm really happy to have you here for this live session. First thing I just want to check is, can you hear me? Is everything okay? So I'm just going to put this in the chat. Can you hear me? Hello, Yassine. Hello. Is everything okay? We just want to check some sound. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, brilliant. Good. So you can all hear me. Yay. Okay, I'm really glad to have you all here. This is so cool. I love these live sessions because it's a good chance to exchange with you in real life. So that's great. So first thing is, I just want to say thank you for coming. Can I ask you a question? Where did you find the link for the live video? Was it on LinkedIn? Was it in a Facebook group? Was it on one of my Facebook pages? If you can put in the chat and tell me where you found the link, like how did you join us, that would be really great, and we can see where everyone is coming from in the internet, if it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter perhaps, or elsewhere. So if you can put that in the chat, we'll see where everyone came from. All right, and also while you're doing that, I just want to make a special announcement to let you know that I will be doing a live session every month. So on the fourth Thursday of every month, we will do a live session, a Q&A. So Q&A, it means question and answer. We'll do a live Q&A session the fourth Thursday of every month, and it's a very informal session. If you want to email me your questions in advance, that's great, but you can also ask your questions in the chat, and the idea is that you ask your questions about learning English, and I try as best as I can to answer them. And if I can't answer, maybe someone in the chat or in the community can help to find the answer to your question as well. So right, I can see, Siva, I'm going crazy. Oh, that's lovely. I'm really crazy. I'm really happy that you're here with us. And I see that there are a lot of people who came from different places: YouTube notifications, Facebook, email. You received a link in your email, perhaps to say that we were live right now, so that's great. Welcome. So as I was saying, question and answer, fourth Thursday of every month at the same place, the same link. And actually, let me give you the address to my blog. It's christinarubafe.com/blog. I'll put that in the chat because I've added a calendar on the side of the blog, and you can see where you can see what dates and what times all of the YouTube live sessions will be, and other live events that will be organized so that we can have some live events together. Okay, so we're going to start the question and answer session now, because I see there is a first question in the chat, and it's how to change our slang so that we're like those of native speakers, and that is Narasima. So thank you, Narasima, for that question. How can we change our slang so that we sound like native speakers. And the first thing to know is that slang it's very cultural. For example, I'm from the United States, so my slang is not going to be the same as someone who's from England or Ireland or Australia. So the first step, I would say, is to decide which type of slang that you want to learn. Is it American slang? Is it British slang? Is it South American slang? And once you know that, it's just like learning vocabulary. In fact, I would suggest looking on the internet to begin. The internet is a wonderful resource. Looking on YouTube, there are lots of videos on that. And actually, this is a great question because my lesson that will be on Tuesday, it's about American slang expressions. So what you can do is to find a lesson or a blog post that is on slang expressions, and then just learn them like you would learn vocabulary. You know, maybe you can make flashcards, or you can use apps on a smartphone like Quizlet. I'll put that in the chat. Quizlet is a good app for learning vocabulary, and that way you can start learning it. And then, of course, another important element is also to be exposed a lot to new expressions and new words. So you want to watch, native television programs or native movies where you think that you might hear this slang. So that's something, I would say that's how you could learn slang, is really by being exposed to materials for learning English, like videos, blog posts that are for people learning English, and then also to be exposed to things that were created for native speakers, like movies or television series where you'll hear the slang and then you can recognize it. And then that's very motivating because you say, yeah, I understand that word. I know what that expression means. A couch potato, for example, that's an American expression, couch potato. And it's going to be in my video on Tuesday, so you'll see what that means on Tuesday. And Mosalingua, yes, Mary Lou, Mosalingua is a very good app, and I definitely also recommend it. And actually, in my videos, there is an interview with Luca, who is one of the creators of Mosalingua. So you can look on my YouTube page and find the video with the interview of Mosalingua, of Luca from Mosalingua. Okay, great. So Narasima, thank you for that question. And is there another question that you would like to ask anyone who is watching? Killerson, how are you? That's a good question. I'm fine, thank you. And I'm glad to see you here because I know that you were asking about these live sessions, so that's great. Okay, you're welcome, Narasima. All right, Siva Kumar, I request, madam, I want you to give some speech for American or British farmers, what they will do with their field or land, and want more about cows, what they will do with cow, and what kind of food they give. Okay, so Siva Kumar, this is a very specific question, and I'm going to be honest that I don't have any experience farming, but I could perhaps give you just some very common expressions that anyone who speaks English and who maybe has visited a farm would know. I've never worked on a farm, but I've visited farms and I've visited cows, and some of the expressions to talk about food for cows, they might eat things like grass, which is green and it grows on the ground. They might eat hay, which is grass and herbs that have been dried. And when you put the cows out in the field, We say that the cows are grazing, so like to graze, and I'll put that in the chat. So this way that, you can have some basic words, but I'm afraid that I don't have enough experience working with farmers to give you any technical vocabulary. But, we do say that cows eat grass, they eat hay, and they graze in the field. And I'll put that in the chat as well, graze in the field. So I hope that helps you. But what I can also suggest would also to look for, and you can, look on the internet, you can Google something like English vocabulary, cow farming, something like that. I'll put that in the chat, English vocabulary, cow farming. And you might be able to find a website or at least an article that is, that has all of this technical vocabulary that will help you. So I'm sorry I can't help you more than that, but I hope that that gives you at least a way to explore and find something a little more in detail. Yes. And Kumiko, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Julie, you have a question. Maybe smart idiom or expression can be interesting for speaking. Yes, Julie, I have a quick question for you. Do you mean idioms with the word smart in them? Something like, we might say that someone is very sharp. Actually, if they're very smart, we say, he's very sharp. Or if we want to say that someone is very smart, but we want to make fun of them in a nice way, we call someone an egghead. So you imagine someone with, an egg for a head, and we say that they're very smart. A smart aleck, yes, Yedrick, that's right. Smart aleck is generally someone who thinks that he knows everything. If you call someone a smart aleck, it's not a nice thing. Egghead is intello. Yes, someone who's very intellectual. They're very smart. Like I said, we often use it to make fun of our friends in a nice way. If someone is being smart, you want to make fun of him, you can call him an egghead. But if you want to not be nice and you want to insult him, you would call him a smart aleck, for example. Right. Not necessarily, I heard once in a blue moon. Okay, that's a very common expression, and it's going to do a little correction, once in a blue moon. And once in a blue moon, that means not very often. So it's, if I say, I see my best friend once in a blue moon, it means I don't really see her very often. Because a blue moon, literally, there are not very many blue moons in the cycle of the moon, and that's where that expression comes from. Right. Okay, thanks, Julie. That was a very good question, yeah. Okay, and there's some new people joining us. Stanislaus, Katya, hello. All right, any other questions? We can take another question or two, I think. If you have any questions about learning English, let's see, Nassim, my problem is I can't remember words in English. Okay, this is a very common problem. Nassim, I have a question for you. Do you speak French by any chance? Some people, they might speak French, and I have a few videos in French, and I do have a video on how to remember vocabulary, but I think it's in French. So I need to make that video in English, I think. But some tips to help you to remember words in English. The first thing is exposing yourself to these words regularly. That's the first thing. Memrise, yes. Memrise is a very popular app for learning vocabulary. Personally, I haven't used it, but I know that a lot of people recommend it, so maybe I should test it. But exposure to the vocabulary very often through apps through flashcards, these cards where you can write vocabulary. If you have a notebook to write your words, to revise. But also it's something that really helps to make the word stick in your head, is if you can associate some kind of emotional connection, maybe a memory or maybe an image that you can associate with the word, and it makes the words more concrete for you. And this is a one way that can help you. Another way is to learn words in context, but also to learn chunks. And chunks are like little expressions, so that you can learn not just individual words, but complete expressions. And then you learn the context where you use these expressions, and then by repeating them and being exposed to them multiple times regularly, slowly but surely, the words are going to stick in your head. Florian, you said, my main problem is I still try to translate literally. Florian, you're in luck, because I will have a video coming out very soon, and the title is How to Stop Translating in Your Head. So that this is a technique. You'll see some techniques in that video, how to stop translating. Like, for example, instead of using a bilingual dictionary, use a monolingual, an English dictionary, to actually start thinking in English and thinking about vocabulary in English. Learning chunks, again, is a very good way to stop translating, because you learn a fixed expression, and not trying to literally translate every word in a sentence from, maybe your native language, which perhaps is French. So those are some things, but there will be an entire video on that very soon. Kumiko, you say, I've heard that the word expect sounds very rude when used to people. Are there any other words that might sound very rude in the US? Okay, Kumiko, perhaps you're talking about expressions like, I expect you to send this to me, or we expect you to finish the project on Friday. It can be very forceful, and it could be perceived as rude. You're right. Other words that might sound very rude, telling someone, I need, or you need to. For example, if you want someone to, I don't know, send you a report, and you say, you need to send me the report tomorrow. That sounds very rude. So what you can say instead is like, could you please send me the report tomorrow? Or I would like it if you sent me the report tomorrow. And that doesn't sound rude, like you need to send the report, or I expect you to send the report. Right. Okay, and we'll take one more question. So Axel, you have a question. That was the most recent one, or the first one, sorry. I belong to a European classroom, and I very much want to improve my English to become bilingual. Okay, so just tips for becoming bilingual. I would say try to create an immersion for yourself. And often we think that immersion means that you have to go to an English-speaking country. Of course, that's nice, but you don't have to. With technology today, you can totally create an immersion around you to be almost fully immersed in English. Watching television programs or news programs in English, or listening to podcasts in English, changing the language of your computer and your phone to English, finding a language partner online, for example with italki, which is a great website, And I'll put a link in the comments of this video with a link for italki where you can find a partner, because actually I have a partnership with italki where if you buy your first lesson through my link, as a member of the Speak English community, you can get a second lesson for free. And italki is a great place to find a language partner to practice and to help you become bilingual. So create an immersion, podcasts, videos, anything that you can read in English, changing the language of your computer, which you have done, and getting a language exchange partner to practice speaking through italki. And I'll give you the link for that to have one lesson that you buy, the second lesson free. So that will help you to, Florian. Florian, I'll put the link in the comments in the video after it uploads, because I have a special link that if you have to go through that link to get the free lesson. So I'll share that with you in the comments of this video when it's uploaded. Julie, yes, a Vocabble magazine is great. And there's also another good magazine, which is Go English for intermediate levels, or English Now for beginner levels, right? Okay, and so Yusuf, I did see your comment, and this will be the final question for today, but we'll do more of these every month. So Yusuf, your question: I live in a touristic city in Italy. I want to profit from this opportunity in order to practice my speaking. Can you advise me how I can talk with tourists? Yes, great opportunity and good idea to take that initiative. The easiest way I would recommend is, can you do a video to speak faster? Okay, Mia, I'll speak faster maybe in other videos. But Yusuf, what I could suggest is when you see some tourists, for example, they're looking at a map and they're trying to find their way, go approach them and say, "Oh, hello, I live here. Can I help you?" Or, "Oh, I see that you're visiting my city. Are you looking for something? Or can I help you find your way?" And this is a nice way to just start the conversation. You're approaching someone because you want to help them, because you see that they look lost or confused, or they're looking for something. So you're being helpful. They'll appreciate that. And it's a good way to have the opportunity to practice your English with the tourists in your city. All right. Okay, so I want to say thank you for sticking around. Sticking around, that's a good slang expression, to stick around. Thank you for staying for this video. It's about 20 minutes, which is quite long. So thank you for coming. Do be sure to go and visit my website, christinarubefe.com/blog, where you can see the calendar of the other live events. And you can also join my Speak English Ambassadors, my email list, to get free lessons every Tuesday if you join that list. And you'll get notifications of other live events as well. So Mary Lou, have a good day at work. Daniela, thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you guys so much. Share my YouTube videos with your friends. I would really appreciate it. The more people that I can help to learn English, the better. So thank you for coming. Thank you for your questions, and I will see you at the end of March. Let me give you the exact date. March 23rd. So in exactly a month will be the next live session. Kumiko, yes, you can see today's live session again later on YouTube. So I will see you all in a month for the next live session. But go to my blog, you can see the calendar, you can join the Speak English community email list, and you'll get a lesson every Tuesday. All right, you guys, thanks a lot and have a good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. Thanks a lot. Bye.